I've been making Bizen ware in Bizen City for about 30 years. I came to Bizen and I was the apprentice to the son of the first national treasure, Kaneshige Toyo. And then I made a kiln and started to make Bizen ware. The special quality of Bizen ware is that, well, it uses no glaze. It's placed in the kiln, and a wood-burning kiln is fired for several days. For example, 7 days or 12 days, 2 weeks. And through the long firing, the ash is deposited on the pots, and the ash melts, and it becomes an interesting and beautiful pattern on the pots. Special features about Bizen ware is that it looks like it was just born out of the kiln by magic or something. But it's all high technique, which has been, that technique has been created over several hundreds of years. So this is all quite planned, but it looks as if it was born. What's important about Bizen ware? How can it be such a fine art? What's good about it? First, I'd say it's important to look at it, how it looks. What's important in the Japanese sense is more complex than that. The weight of the object is important. And also, the feel of the object is important. When this comes out of the kiln, it will cut you, but it's sanded or buffed with a under-fired piece of clay until it has a certain feel that will communicate something. And if it's something to drink from, it's also important the lip and how the sensation you will receive when you put your lip to the cup and the liquid flows into your mouth. And depending on the shape of the lip, the feeling you get will be different. So it's much deeper than a Western art where you just look at something. Japanese prefer that you can't see the technique so readily in the performer or the artist. And a lot of times in Europe, like for dancing or some art form, it's better to see that high technique. But so in Bizen ware, also some of the most prized examples, like connoisseurs will say, oh, I love this piece because you cannot see the maker's will in it. You cannot see him consciously trying to make a beautiful piece. It's just very, very natural. So if we see the maker's conscious trying to make art, it takes away from the piece. How to use Bizen ware? Well, Bizen ware is very rustic and natural, and so it blends very nicely with flowers. If you have brightly colored flowers or any kind of flower, the Bizen ware is rustic, so it's kind of similar to the earth, and flowers blend with it very naturally. So you'll find if you have a Bizen ware vase that it's easy to use, and it's very different from a Western vase. And if you like to, Japanese often use platters or plates, and again, the Bizen ware is usually very rustic, so brightly colored fruits will look nice on it, and they just blend together. And so something like a vase or a plate, or when you drink sake, when the sake, when it gets wet, when Bizen ware gets wet with sake, it looks deeper and the color looks deeper. And when you pour out of a Bizen ware sake flask, it's called the sake flask is called a tokuri, and the neck is very narrow. And when the sake goes out of the neck and into the glass, it makes a sound. The tokuri makes a sound, and you feel happy when you hear it. It's really fun to own a piece of Bizen ware. you will have something made in Japan and something made from by a completely different culture and with a completely different perspective about life. So you can kind of enter into another culture, and when you buy it, you just can't enjoy it. And the more you touch Bizen ware and the more you use it, it changes every day. Every time you touch it, a little bit of oil from your hand gets on it, and the color gets deeper, and when you rub it, it gets a little smoother, and gradually it changes. And if you use a piece of Bizen ware every day for 10 years, then it will change with you, and you will love it more and more, and it will become part of you. So if it's a cup, you just drink whatever you like out of it and try to use it a lot and love it. And if you use it a lot and you love the Bizen ware, it will love you.